Hi, it's Lani. Welcome back to Fleur Du Jour's blog. I just want to show you today how to construct a boutonniere. Very basic steps on what to do and technique that you can use in many different ways, and these are just things that you can expound upon once you know the basic things to do. So we're going to start with a single bloom. I've chosen an anemone today. That is the flower that looks very similar to a poppy. Has a black center and delicate petals, but they hold up very nicely for boutonnieres. There's different flowers that you can use for boutonnieres, and this is one of them. A little more limited boutonniere selection as far as what you can use. Now, I'm going to be wiring it with 28 gauge wire that is thin enough to pierce through the flower, but strong enough to support it in the event that it should not be strong enough to support itself. So you're going to run it through and just bend it over. With the anemone, it's got the extra foliage on it, so you're just going to kind of want to bend that back up so it looks a little more natural when you go to tape it. Now I'm using floral tape. This you can find at your local florist. I do recommend florist grade floral tape for items like handwork like this. Otherwise, you may find yourself very frustrated with low grade tape you'll find possibly at your local hobby store. So the technique with the tape is you start it at one end, hold it down, pull, and you'll stretch it and just continue to wind it around, pulling it taut the whole time, and then it shrinks back up to secure the wire in place. And you'll do that all the way down to the end. Okay, so we've got the wire taped in place. We're going to maybe add an accent flower with the anemone, and that could be anything that is going to hold up as well as the main flower will. I have here some Sweet William that will work perfectly with this. It won't wilt. It gives it a nice added punch of color. Sometimes I like to tuck it up underneath the flower to accent it, or sometimes you can put it up behind it. Depends on what kind of curve you have, what kind of curve the stem has. You kind of work with it and see what way it's going to give for you. So in this particular instance, it's kind of curving to my left, so I think the best bet is to possibly maybe tuck it up and kind of come up behind the flower. This is wax flower that I'm adding into it as well, which is another hardy filler flower that can be used and to give it more texture. Kind of has a wildflower feel, which the anemone definitely lends itself to that. So I'm going to position this the same way that I did for the Sweet William, in a place that looks natural without making it too bouquet-like, because boutonnieres definitely want to keep those masculine if at all possible. Add some of the greenery of the wax flower as well, just again to keep it masculine. We don't want to do too many blooms for this, because the gentlemen that wear these, whether it be for prom or for weddings or for other special occasions, we want to make sure that we're not giving them too much of a feminine flair. Alright, so I've got those positioned. You want to hold on to that. Take your tape and use this. Holding everything in place, the same technique. Pull it taut and spiral it around and down the flower stem to, if it breaks, just start right back over. Not a big deal. And there you go. So at this point, I don't feel like it needs any more, but you could embellish this with, for prom for instance, you could embellish this with flowers, feathers, not flowers, feathers that would maybe match the girl's dress or something of that nature. You could definitely do that. In this case, because of the wildflower feel, I'm going to go ahead and embellish mine with some twine. Go ahead and trim off any excess stem that you may have, maybe like that. I'm going to secure this with a short pin, which you can use a standard boutonniere pin. For that, you can cut it short with your snips, which will work on that, and then just secure it up top. I happen to have some pre-cut right here. I'm going to do that, and then you're just going to spiral it around similar to the tape, keeping it taut because you don't want to do it too loose, and just keep wrapping it down the stem. And in this case, I'm going to stop there, and then I'm going to secure it onto the back because I don't want everyone to see my mechanics, with another short pin, and snip that, and then cut my excess green off, and there we go. We have a boutonniere embellished with twine, kind of a wildflower feel that could easily be transformed into something for, again, a wedding or a prom or any special occasion that would require a gentleman to wear a flower on his lapel. And there's many other types of flowers. Ranunculus work well for boutonnieres. Despite their delicate look, they definitely hold up well. Asters hold up well. These come in many different colors. Lysianthus is another great bloom, a little bit larger than the ones we see here. Of course, roses, something a little more standard. But these are the types of flowers that you can use for boutonnieres for the springtime and throughout the year. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you learned something today. Be sure to subscribe to our blog and stop by the store at 447 3rd Street. You'll learn different tips and tricks every week with Tip Top Tuesday at FleurDuJourLA.com.